Chosen one, I need you to stop right now and give me your complete attention, not the surface attention you give to everything else that scrolls past your eyes. I need the attention that lives deeper, in that place inside you that has been watching, waiting, recognizing patterns since you were young but never had the language to name what you were seeing. Because what is unfolding in this exact moment is not random. It is not the algorithm. It is not curiosity or coincidence. This moment is a divine appointment. God has said, the time is now. Now the truth will be revealed to you. Not tomorrow when you think you will be stronger. Not next week when you imagine you will be more prepared. Not when circumstances feel more stable. Right now, for years, perhaps your entire life, you have carried something in your chest that you could not name. A pressure, a weight, a knowing that sat in your bones but could not be spoken in any language that others would understand. You sensed that your life was operating on two levels simultaneously. One level visible to everyone around you, playing out in the daylight, following predictable patterns. But beneath that, running parallel, was another layer, hidden, encrypted, moving according to a logic that made no sense to the people watching your life from the outside. You were not imagining this. You were not being paranoid. You were not overthinking. You were perceiving correctly. You have been living on a hidden frequency, and everything that has happened to you, every inexplicable delay, every confusing detour, every moment when you looked around and thought, why am I the only one who sees this, was part of something intentional. You were being prepared, not punished. Withheld from certain outcomes, not because you were unworthy, but because the timing was not aligned. The silence you walked through was not absence. It was incubation. It was God placing you in a sealed environment where the noise of the world could not interfere with what was being built inside you. Because if the full truth of who you are and what you carry had been revealed to you too soon, before your internal structure could support it, it would have crushed you under its weight. And if it had been revealed too late, you would have spent so many years trying to survive without it that you would have adapted to a smaller version of yourself, and the truth would have had nowhere to land. So God held back the revelation, not out of cruelty, out of precision. And now, at this exact coordinates in time, at this intersection of readiness and divine timing, he speaks. The seal is breaking. The veil is lifting. The truth is coming into focus. From the very beginning, you noticed something. You did not move through the world the way others did. You did not think in straight lines. You did not accept explanations that everyone else seemed satisfied with. Even when you tried to camouflage yourself, to blend into the crowd, to make yourself smaller so others would feel comfortable, something inside you would not cooperate. That resistance was not stubbornness. It was not rebelliousness. It was design. You were engineered with an internal compass that points toward truth. And when you are in environments where truth is diluted, your system sounds an alarm. Your soul has a built-in intolerance for shallow agreements. You cannot thrive in spaces where depth is sacrificed for convenience. That is why certain doors closed in your face without any explanation. Why relationships that seemed promising suddenly collapsed without warning. Why opportunities that looked safe on paper felt suffocating the moment you stepped into them. Why you have walked away from things that other people would have killed for. And you could not even articulate why, you just knew you had to leave. God was not sabotaging you. He was protecting the integrity of your assignment. Every door that closed was a door that would have trapped you in a version of your life that was too small for what you were built to carry. Every relationship that fell apart was a relationship that would have required you to shrink to perform, to explain yourself endlessly to people who were never going to understand you because they were not meant to. Every path that led to a dead end was a path that would have taken you further away from your true coordinates. You did not just go through hardship, you went through precision training. Every disappointment you faced, every betrayal you endured, every season when your strength was demanded but your reward was delayed, every moment when you gave everything and received nothing in return, that was not random suffering. That was weight training for authority. You were being conditioned to stand when applause disappears, to obey when clarity evaporates, to remain integrated when support is withdrawn. Most people collapse when external validation is removed. They fall apart when no one is watching. They lose their shape when praise stops coming. You were taught how to hold your center when all of that vanishes. That is why you survived things that should have destroyed you. That is why you kept walking even when you were exhausted beyond what language can describe. God was building a nervous system capable of holding power without becoming corrupted by it. You were not being judged. You were not being tested for failure. You were being observed for readiness. God was watching how you handled disappointment, how you responded when you were misunderstood, how you treated people who had nothing to offer you, how you behaved when you were overlooked, and when you chose integrity without any guarantee of reward, when you chose restraint without any recognition, when you chose faith without any tangible proof, something shifted in the unseen realm. You crossed an internal threshold that cannot be uncrossed. You passed through a gate that only opens in one direction. And that is why God has said, enough concealment. Now revelation. If this is landing on something true inside you, if you feel that tightening in your chest, that sudden sharpness of recognition, pause for just a second and press like on this video. Not for me, not for the algorithm, for you. Because that action is a marker. It is a signal that you are receiving what is being spoken, that you are not letting this moment pass by like background noise. Do it now before we go any further. The truth is this: you are not late, you are not behind, you are not broken. You were strategically delayed so that your emergence would carry weight. What opens for you now will not be fragile. It will not collapse under pressure. What begins in this season will not be shallow. It will not require constant validation to survive. What moves through you now will be self-evident. Your next chapter will speak for itself. People will sense your presence before you explain anything. Opportunities will find you without you having to chase them. Resistance will retreat without you needing to fight it, not because you became aggressive. Not because you learned how to manipulate or force outcomes, but because you became aligned, and alignment is more powerful than effort. Here is something critical you need to understand. As truth is being revealed to you, truth will also be revealed around you. Masks are going to slip. Hidden motives will rise to the surface. Agendas that were camouflaged will lose their disguise. People who were pretending will stop pretending. Situations that looked stable will show their cracks. Do not panic when this happens. This is not loss, this is clarity. God is removing static from your environment so that your discernment has space to operate. Some people will exit your life quietly, without drama. They will just drift. Others will resist loudly. They will create noise. They will demand explanations. They will accuse you of changing. Let them. You are no longer responsible for managing other people's comfort with your growth. You are no longer called to explain yourself to environments you have already outgrown. You are not entering a season of striving. You are entering a season of authority without effort. This means you stop chasing what is meant to come to you. You stop begging for clarity from people who benefit from your confusion. You stop negotiating your value for proximity to spaces that do not recognize what you carry. You move differently now, with stillness, with precision, with a calm that unsettles chaos. You do not react to provocation. You do not defend yourself to every accusation. You do not explain your decisions to every opinion. You move from a place of internal knowing, and that knowing does not require external agreement to be true. Here is a truth that few people are told, and even fewer understand. Your greatest weapon in this next season is not your voice. It is not your ability to argue or convince or perform. It is your presence. You carry stillness in a world addicted to noise. You carry clarity in a culture drowning in distraction. You carry depth in an age that worships the surface. That is why people project onto you, why some feel inexplicably drawn to you, while others feel inexplicably threatened. Why you trigger reactions in people without even speaking. Light does that. It exposes what is hidden. It reveals what people are trying to keep in the dark. And now, God is no longer asking you to dim yourself for the comfort of others. He is no longer requiring you to make yourself smaller so that people around you can feel bigger. That season is over. Expect acceleration, but not chaos. Expect movement, but not confusion. Things are going to line up faster than your emotions can process. Doors are going to open before you feel ready. Opportunities are going to present themselves before you have figured out all the steps. Do not self-sabotage by doubting what you prayed for. Do not talk yourself out of what is aligning simply because it is happening quickly. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is alignment catching up to obedience. You are not stepping into something new. You are stepping into what was always yours. But now, you are finally strong enough to hold it without it breaking you. Stay grounded. Stay honest in your intentions. Stay clean in your heart. You do not need to announce your elevation. It will be obvious. You do not need to explain where you have been. Your presence will carry the evidence. You do not need to convince anyone of your value. The ones who are meant to recognize it will recognize it without effort. And when doubt comes, because it will come, when fear whispers that this is too good to be true, remember this moment. Remember that God said, "Now the truth will be revealed to you." And once truth is revealed, you cannot live small again. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Once you know it, you cannot unknow it. This was not just a message. This was a transmission. This was not entertainment. This was an encounter. God did not bring you this far through everything you have survived, through the isolation, through the silence, through the battles no one saw, just to tease you with a glimpse of what could be and then pull it away. He brought you here to activate something, to unlock something, to initiate you into the next level of what you were created for. What you felt while you were reading this, that sudden tightening in your chest, that unexpected stillness, that deep sense of this is for me, that was not emotion. That was recognition. Something ancient inside you just woke up. Something dormant just stood to attention. The truth has been revealed to you. And once truth is revealed, ignorance is no longer an option. You cannot go back to pretending you do not know. You cannot return to the version of yourself that was hiding, delaying, doubting what God already confirmed. From this moment forward, you are accountable for what you have heard, not in pressure, not in fear, but in alignment. You do not need to rush. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to explain yourself to people who were not in the room when this was spoken over you. You simply need to walk forward differently, calmer, clearer, unshakable, because heaven has already marked this moment. What opens next will not ask for permission. What shifts next will not wait for approval. And what God releases in your life next will not be stopped by anything or anyone. You are not entering chaos. You are entering clarity. And clarity changes everything. Now, if this message resonated with something true inside you, I need you to do something intentional right now. Comment below with these exact words: I receive the truth God revealed to me. Not emojis, not casual acknowledgement. A declaration. Your words carry weight. And when you declare something out loud, even in a comment, you are anchoring it in reality. Do that now. And if you have not already, subscribe to this channel. Because what you just experienced is not random content that appeared in your feed by accident. These messages are for people who are waking up, who are realigning, who are stepping into what has always been theirs. If you are here now, you are meant to stay connected. Finally, if you feel led, share this video with one person. Just one. Someone who has been questioning. Someone who has been walking through silence. Someone who has been waiting for confirmation they could not explain. You might be the answer to their prayer. More is coming. And what God is about to unfold next is only for those who are paying attention. Walk in your truth.